Nikocado Avocado is a mukbang YouTuber. Somebody who grew to such popularity by growing himself eating anything other than an avocado. Spicy noodles, more spicy noodles, his boyfriend, if you were to take the thumbnails at face value. This dude will put anything into his mouth, and over the course of the last 7 years has grown to look like Majin Buu. But to everybody's surprise, just early last week, he reveals that it was all a hoax, that somehow he is down 250 pounds, transforming to look more like Majin Buu. How does somebody who makes a living by getting fat off of eating ridiculous amounts of food seemingly overnight transform from Boogie 2988 to James Charles on the Twink scale? Nikocado Avocado started his YouTube journey by just posting what anybody else would on a channel. He made some videos playing the violin, he was skinny, he had a bird, some sort of boyfriend, and they started to make vegan mukbang videos because he was a vegan at the time. This was like 7 years ago. At this point, this is ancient history as far as the internet is concerned, because to this date, the only thing that anybody knows about Nikocado Avocado is his mukbang videos. Nikocado Avocado does not just make mukbang videos. There is no aspect of the videos that he makes that is designed to be attractive or fun to watch, in addition to the fact that he eats an obscene amount of food in every single one of these videos. He makes it a point of being as much of a man-child crybaby, screaming and making a mess. I actually do not understand who these videos are for. Over the course of several years, Nikocado would begin to see a tremendous amount of success on YouTube for exactly that reason. Mukbang was already becoming prominent enough of a trend on YouTube for it to be featured in a YouTube Rewind, so it only made sense that these sorts of channels would continue to garner success as people enjoyed watching people consume 10,000 calories and then not swim like Michael Phelps to burn all of it off. Nikocado, however, had found his niche by making a thumbnail that looked like a mukbang challenge and then just blasted you with shirtlessness, gay making out, making a mess, throwing things all over the place. This dude had successfully gone from eating food on YouTube for a job, which is already a sweet gig, to just making an absolute mess of a bunch of food on camera, which is arguably better.
Right. Put it down. Oh, it's my finger. You got a rash on me. It's a rash on me.
Now listen, success on a platform like YouTube is a fickle mistress. Regardless of how hard you work to try to make your videos, if you're not doing something that entices the masses to come and click on your stuff, it's basically impossible to make it if you want to try and make money on this platform. And so it's hard for me, as somebody who's trying to do exactly that, to shame anybody who finds success in doing something like just eating a bunch of fried chicken on camera to millions of views. Even though Nikocado Avocado goes well beyond just gorging himself on food into making basically skit drama videos disguised as mukbangs that are really just watching a big fat guy melt down and argue with his boyfriend in every single episode, hey, if it gets the clicks, you do you, you know? Interestingly enough, this is actually where the genius of the content creator comes into play. Nikocado Avocado did not just find some sliver of success and then hammer it with a mallet until it turned into gold. This dude actually knows how to play the system. With a level of foresight that almost feels omnipotent, it's as if Nikocado Avocado knew that this rage bait pseudo mukbang videos that he was making was going to be fresh bait for all the commentary channels who wanted to make an expose on the real Nikocado Avocado. Not for no reason, however. Back in 2019, we would start to see the cracks break in the facade of the Nikocado Avocado character when he did a collaboration with fellow mukbanger Stephanie Soo. A collaboration in the mukbang community means you just get together and eat a bunch of food together on camera, which the more and more I talk about the situation, the more I feel like I picked the wrong YouTube avenue to get into. Just a few days later, Stephanie Soo would upload a video to her channel titled "Why I'm Afraid of Nikocado Avocado," a thumbnail that has been memed to death because if you stick it next to any one of Nikocado Avocado's other videos, it makes it pretty clear, yeah, you know what, I can see why you might be scared of this dude. Commentary channels would now have a legitimate reason to make expose videos on Nikocado Avocado. At the end of the day, if you're being gross and eating food but it gets millions of clicks, YouTube is a hustle, and if the game's working for you, then you gotta respect it to some degree. But once you cross over the line to acting like an actual diva or creep after being invited to somebody else's home completely off camera, well, now it feels like there's some legitimate criticism to this character that you're portraying. But because everybody was already sort of on board with making fun of Nikocado Avocado's content because he looked like a big fat slob, if it turned out he was creepy as well, well, that's all the more reason to not like this content that I already didn't like. I want to give a quick shout out to everybody who bought gamer subs while I took the last couple of weeks off to celebrate my wedding anniversary. I know it seems silly to make a community post letting you know that I'm not uploading videos, but also, here's a sponsor. But you actually bought so much gamer subs that the boys messaged me and were like, Sumito, people are using your code every day and you haven't even uploaded in a week. How are you doing it? And I was like, listen, my community is dedicated to making a SumitoMedia flavor happen one day, and I'll be damned if anybody calls the hyenas poor. That being said, there is another new drop, 3 brand new flavors, a bunch of stuff is on sale, and I think you even get something for free if you order with the drop that just launched on Friday. Discount code is in the description, and again, thank you so much for the nice wedding anniversary gift, whether you intended it or not. It was around this time that Nikocado Avocado's content started to become a little bit more meta. It became self-aware. He started to put out content that he very well knew was designed to take advantage of the people that were only watching him because they hated him, emphasizing the fact that he had gotten up to 350 pounds, talking about health concerns that he had, talking about not being popular with the mainstream YouTubers, talking about having ribs broken due to his weight gain and having to use a ventilator as a part of the recovery process, leading to this famous Nikocado Avocado meme. It's very clear that the dude was taking advantage of the hate to turn it into more clout. This all comes to a climax with what I consider to be the largest commentary channel making a video on the topic of Nikocado Avocado by our very own Moist Critical, who uploaded a video titled "This YouTuber is slowly killing himself for views" about the Nikocado Avocado situation. Charlie talks to the negative health concerns and the negative health that Nikocado Avocado has experienced through having to eat such ridiculous amounts of food for the sake of his livelihood. Ironically, the thing that he has to do to make money and pay for his life is the thing that is slowly shortening his life to God knows how soon. The mask, the broken ribs, the unbelievable amount of weight gain, the fact that the videos have just gotten more and more extreme. Charlie opens up a conversation where everybody started to speak about the fact that Nikocado Avocado is getting pretty goddamn big, and the fact that he makes a point that it might be the fault of the viewers for continuing to watch him raised some conversation. Nikocado Avocado, seemingly out of character, would make a response to this video addressing most of the talking points that Charlie had brought up, which doesn't make a lot of sense if you think about it. I mean, his main points were that he's fat and it's not good for him, and Nikocado Avocado basically responds with, yeah, but it's your fault for watching me. Which at the time, and for a moment in internet history, it definitely felt like, whoa, wait, is it the viewer's fault? But then after a little bit of time passed, everybody started to realize, either due to the comedic tongue-in-cheek nature of which Nikocado Avocado delivered this response to what Charlie had to say, or just because it's impossible to take this dude seriously because he's so big, fat, and goofy with everything he does, it became clear that Nikocado Avocado wasn't responding to it because he was worried about drama or getting canceled. He was doing it because it was what was gonna get the most views, and he was very clearly playing a situation where the biggest YouTuber, more or less, on the platform is making a video about it to milk even more views. He made a video still eating his mukbangs while responding to Corey X Kenshin and PewDiePie and H3H3's podcast and any other big YouTuber who wanted to make a video talking about the fact that it felt like this dude was doing harm to his body for the sake of views on the internet, and turned it into him continuing to do harm to his body to get more views on the internet. Ironically, the more people talked about how big Nikocado Avocado was getting, the bigger Nikocado Avocado was getting, and the bigger Nikocado Avocado was getting. That whole sentence pisses me off. What do you do at this point? At this point, there's a combination of people that don't want him on the platform because they feel like he's a bad guy, and there's another number of people who feel like he's definitely going to have like a heart attack or something from people who are watching him when at the end of the day, it feels like nobody's even watching this dude. But really, when you think about it, that's the result of pretty much any controversy. I mean, I'm sure you guys can think of some great examples of people bringing to attention things like children's cartoon programming on YouTube being creepy and then something being done about it. But 9 times out of 10, anytime a big YouTuber makes a video talking about something awful, it just draws more eyes to the thing that's awful, and Nikocado Avocado seems to be the embodiment of that. Just as it feels like the conversation has started to move on. Just as Oompaville uploads a video a year ago spending a day with Nikocado Avocado. Just the same week as iNabber uploads a 7-hour video talking about the ups and downs of Nikocado Avocado's time on the internet, he uploads a video titled 2 Steps Ahead, where he looks like a shadow of his former self. 250 pounds lost. He starts the video in a panda head for some reason, which doesn't make any sense because it doesn't even cover up any of his body. You can tell he got skinny right away, and it's in the thumbnail. This is like the stupidest face reveal ever.
And you will continue to consume these stories about me year after year after year.
42 million views. His biggest video to date, and again, this is a dude who's pulling in 5 million views for eating spicy noodles on camera. This dude breaks every record he ever has by addressing the audience like he's Mojo Jojo talking to the Powerpuff Girls for some reason. Nikocado Avocado doesn't really explain anything in this 25-minute video, but what people do take away from this is the fact that he claims this was all some sort of grand social experiment to see how much of a villain, how much of a bad guy he could make himself up to be, and how many people he could trick into believing that he really was this villain on YouTube. 2 questions, obviously. 1, did he really have all of this planned from the beginning? And 2, does this take away from all the bad stuff that he's done? To answer your first question, maybe. Is it really something that he had as some sort of grand experiment from the beginning? It definitely doesn't feel like it, because the way that he ate all that food, the way that he acted on camera, there is no doubt in anybody's mind Nikocado Avocado was just trying to get views by any means possible. In a video on his second channel, people were able to piece together the fact that Nikocado Avocado had seemingly pre-recorded mukbang videos to go live on his channels over the course of the last 2 years. Which means even when that Oompaville video went up a year ago, even that had been recorded a year into his weight loss journey. Looking back at the videos over the last couple years, the dude only posts a couple times in a few months' time, so it isn't inconceivable that with a little bit of preparation you can put together, I don't know, 20 or so videos to go up between your 2 channels and then sparse them out over the next couple years. But actually executing on that while not posting any selfies on Twitter, not responding to comments that might give something away, and uploading videos that may very well have been recorded a decade ago, I'm not using the word decade right, a long time ago, and then just acting like that's reality, that takes some steel balls. But while that may be impressive on first glance, you still have to take a look at a number of the facts. First of all, you're basically admitting that your content is so brain dead slop that you can basically record a ton of it in a week and nobody is even going to care that there's any difference in the quality versus when you were actually uploading videos that took you more time to make. I mean, it doesn't take a ton of time to make noodles and eat them, but your audience was at least under the impression that you were doing that when you were uploading it. But at the same time, it also doesn't take away from the entire clout goblin attention-seeking fandom that you had built around, because you were still somebody who was using any opportunity to talk about everybody reacting to you, make use of your health concerns and your incredible amount of obesity for clicks on the internet, and that doesn't just go away now that Ozempic is here. And more importantly, how does posting your bare inflamed asshole from your OnlyFans on the internet a part of this plan? Where did that fit in, bro? Furthermore, what exactly is your game plan here? You spent all this time acting like a fat man-child on the internet making this content and building an audience with it, and now you're like somebody who makes weight loss journeys on YouTube. Congrats, you lost all the weight. What are you gonna upload now, dumbass? You can't go back to eating the spicy noodles, or are you gonna be 3 steps ahead at this point? And then, of course, we have to talk about the fact that there has always been drama about how Nikocado Avocado has acted with other people. It would make sense that this was all planned from the beginning, and therefore you acted like a big fat idiot, but there are people who worked with you off camera that said you were a creepy big fat idiot, and you weren't getting clicks for that. Now that I'm thinking about it, it would be nuts if Stephanie Soo came out with a video saying that her saying Nikocado Avocado was a creep in their collab was all a part of this plan. But there's no way he's that many steps ahead. I will eat my ass if that is what happens. The crazy thing is thinking about if this was all planned out by Nikocado to raise to this point where he became the biggest, sloppiest mukbang channel on YouTube, garner the attention of everybody who wanted to call him out for making that sort of sloppy content, and then coming out to lose all that weight and completely change his entire outlook on what his channel is going to be about right as his career was getting to the point where everybody was starting to forget about him with the biggest possible video he could make. I mean, this is Mr. Beast levels of there is no way that's what this video is about. Crazy, crazy stuff. Again, not sure how posting your asshole on the internet fit into this master plan, but I am excited to see what comes from this, because again, you did kind of just shoot your horse in the leg with losing all the weight and now presumably not doing mukbang content anymore. But if that means that I don't need to talk about Nikocado Avocado anymore, I will consider that a W. Thank you so much for watching. A big shout out to the patrons scrolling behind me. Remember to subscribe if you want to see me in your inbox every day, and I will catch you guys on tomorrow's video. Peace.